For today's reflection, I'd like to talk to you about a very important word for me personally, and hopefully an important word for all of us in the Gospel of John. And this comes to me from last Thursday. I preached the Mass at St. Joseph's Catholic Academy, where I'm chaplain. And the gospel, the optional gospel for the Feast of St. Teresa Avila was John 15, 1 through 8, I think. And it's worth reading all of John 15. It's not that long if you get the chance. And through 1 through roughly 10, a little bit longer than the passage of the day, you hear this word abide 10 times. I counted, and I may have even missed one or two, or some form of the word abide. Our translation in the church has remained, but the more accurate word is abide. Now, this is the passage where Jesus is talking about, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whenever you are grafted onto me, you'll bear fruit. If you're not, you won't bear fruit. But this continued word abide keeps showing up. And I don't know if there is a much more important word for our wounded times, the times we live in. Because day in and day out almost now, I talk to people that are extremely broken. People stop by, they want to talk. People are having trouble in the midst of this pandemic. Broken relationships over everything that's going on in the world and the media and all that stuff. Economic crises, health problems, people that are stuck at home, that their lives have changed radically. There's so much chaos and turmoil, and in the midst of this, somehow everybody is feeling radically unloved, and they're reaching out to the relationships for a love that this is going to sound terrible, that the relationships just can't provide. And I say that because I have many people in my life that love me. I'm very fortunate, but I know that any one of them can never quite love me like God can love me. God can love me through them. And I'm talking about people that I think very, very high love and are very important in my life. And so in light of all that, as we continue to look for fullness, and as we continue to look for healing in this world, and as we continue to pick up the broken pieces of our lives that have been shattered by our current circumstances, in enters this word again, abide. Part of the Christian life, I think, a major part of the Christian life is, and I've said this a million times, but maybe I'll say it a little bit different now, is to just set up my home in the love of God. To just bask in the infinite love of God and allow that love to penetrate deep within my bones, into my heart, into my blood, to radiate through me. Now, this is hard for us because we have to get out of our own way, and we have to tear down the facades that we've been building up through our lives. But nonetheless, we have to come to God completely exposed and allow that love to penetrate. And that's precisely to me what this word abide in John's gospel means. I have to begin to make my home in God's love and dwell in there wherever I go. Know that God's love can never escape me, and that is where I live regardless of where I'm at. God can't let us down. He seems like he can sometimes when things don't go our way, but he can never let us down because of his infinite love for us. And so the word abide is so powerful to me. I'll sometimes even repeat it when I pray. Abide, abide. I make my home in God's love. And then the disappointments, the things of the world that try to break me down, that wound me and fracture me, they'll still hurt. But I'll know that they can never fully affect me because I've made my home in God's love. And so my challenge for you, if you're watching this Monday when it comes out this week, is to take a minute or two in quiet and simply abide in God's love. Make that an intentional act. I'm going to stop for a few minutes, and I'm just going to sit there and sit in the love of God. We need this love so much in this broken world because I can never pay forward a love like that if I haven't first received it. And so I'm repeating this word over and over again, abide, but it's an important word. It's time for us to set up shop, to set up, as I said, our home, our dwelling, in God's abiding love, so that he might abide in me and I might abide in him, and the two of us become more and more one. That's the kind of love that can never disappoint. That's the kind of love that's with us no matter what. And that's the kind of love that can quite literally get us through anything the world throws at us. And on a side note, those relationships that I was talking about earlier, abiding in God's love will only then strengthen those relationships as well. As I abide in this love, I share it with others. Community forms, relationships get better, and slowly but surely, hopefully, this world becomes a better place simply because I've chose to set my life in and abide in God's love. May God's love be with you always. I hope everybody continues to stay safe. Many blessings, and I hope to run into all of you sometime soon.